Happy Friday, students. This is a little extra announcement and video to cover. This was a week that had a lot of work, and I know that. I'm aware of that. I wanted to kind of cover your outline worksheet and what I'm expecting. So very specifically using a sample PSA at this announcement so that you can answer. This will hopefully answer any questions you might have as you work towards your outline. Let me say a couple things about outlines. I did not require a formal outline from the first paper, but for a paper like this visual rhetorical analysis, which is a fairly complicated paper, it's an argument paper. You are arguing that your judgment of this public service announcement, you're judging its effectiveness on a particular audience that you have to determine. Before that, you have to determine what its purpose is. So what is this PSA doing? And who is it attempting to affect? So is it attempting to affect a change in behavior or awareness? In what audience? Then you're going to make a judgment about it. Is it effective or not? Or somewhere in between. And you are going to argue using your support of ethos, logos, and pathos. So you will say it is effective because it uses pathos in this way. It uses ethos in this way, and it doesn't have much logos, but that's okay because it's primarily an image. So then you have to show me in your ad where that pathos, ethos, and logos exist. So you need to discuss that in your essay. So doing this outline forces you to think about your image, your public service announcement, as an argument. So let's talk about it. So the first thing that the first paragraph of this essay, and this is not a suggestion, this is required that you do this outline, and it's required that you give this information in this order. This is not a suggestion. I need to make that clear. This is very much required, and how you will be graded. So your first paragraph asks, the outline has you fill in a variety of bulleted information, and this is straight from your worksheet. Remember, let's go back, your worksheet, and I'll post your worksheet here. Your worksheet is at week 6. We're wrapping up week 6, and you have this outline worksheet here, okay? I'm going to post this at your announcement. So if we open this up, this is the guideline for your outline, okay? And again, it shows you very specifically what I'm looking for. So there's no, this is not ambiguous. All right, so if we go back here, let me go ahead and minimize that. If we go back to our announcement, again, you want to very clearly define each of these things. What do you want to use as your hook? In other words, this student said, many people suffer each day with the hidden assumption that they are the only ones with ADHD. Okay, if we look at this public service announcement, you can see this person feeling very much alone. Okay. Then the name of the PSA the student gave was Women with ADHD. The author is Chad, and that, I believe, is the acronym for children and adults with ADHD, attention deficit disorder. So the purpose, the student determined the purpose was to let people know they are not alone and urge people to look for a diagnosis if they are struggling. The student said, well, this specific audience, first of all, the student thought it looked like it might have been in a magazine or posted as a poster in an office or break room. That's a fair assumption. And the office really directing at women who feel they are suffering with ADHD or something of the sort. So then the student drafted a thesis statement. Chad's Women with ADHD PSA is partially effective. Note the judgment. The student didn't say ineffective or effective, but the student thought it did an okay job. Because of the organization's reputation, that's ethos, and their use of persuasive emotional appeal, that is pathos, but lacks factual information. So the student feels that the logos is lacking and really does hinder this ad's effectiveness. All right. So now paragraph 2, the student bullets out a kind of a basic description of what is seen in this ad. And you're going to do that. You need to have that paragraph be very descriptive and full. You've practiced in your first essay using sensory descriptive writing. You're going to take what you learned in that first essay and you're going to put it here. You're going to put it to use here and describe what you see in the ad. What's in the foreground? What does the background look like? If there are words, what are they and how do they look? What kind of font? Everything that you see in the ad should be described, including these little logos in the bottom. Okay. So now the student is deciding to address the rhetorical appeal of ethos first. And we know that because the student has it first in the thesis statement. And the thesis statement order and your body paragraph order has to match. Okay, so the student decides ethos is found because the organization CHAD is a fairly old organization in terms of nonprofits and is reputable and got the mission from, this came from the website. The ethos is found by directing people to learn more, okay, here, and felt that was very credible. And so then the student moved on to pathos and discussed how this image feels, kind of taps into people's emotions by having these giant coffee cups with this little human kind of curled up in a fetal position, and the coffee cups are dirty. So again, lots of emotion being tapped into here. And then finally the student discussed the information, the actual logic information, statistics, so that felt the student felt that was lacking. And then in the end makes kind of wraps up by kind of hitting those points again, going back and saying, hey, look, this could have been more effective if more information, more actual information was in this particular ad, particularly because it was probably meant to be a poster or a magazine ad. All right. And then where'd you get this information? So if you cite anything from the website, and you are required to use the website from the organization, you are required to have the ad plus the website for the sponsoring organization. All right, I hope that helps. So this is due Sunday. And think about the outline is when you go to write your rough draft next week, you will take this outline and you're going to write straight from this outline. So this is going to be your guideline for writing your paper. Once you have this outline completed, your paper writes itself. And you don't forget did I forget to talk about ethos? Did I forget to talk about pathos? Because it's all in your outline, and you'll put it next to you and you'll type your paper from it. So this is a useful tool when you're doing a paper with a lot of required parts. And again, this is required. All right. Next week, just so you know, you're gonna have two assignments next week. The big one, of course, is getting your rough draft done. So you really only have one due date in the middle of next week. There will be two sample essays, and you will have to do a discussion board. That will be your virtual attendance assignment, asking you to go through the two essays, discuss all the parts of the essays, the ethos, logos, pathos, the hook, all of that. Decide which essay seems more effective, and then, of course, reply to your classmates. So that's your middle of the week virtual attendance assignment. Then next week, next Sunday, the end of the first week of October, your rough draft will be due. So keep that in mind, that next week you should be writing your paper from your outline. And again, you'll have two sample essays to review so that you have a really clear idea what I'm looking for in this paper. All right, hope this helps.